Okay, forgive me. Again, I am here. I'm so glad that you guys joined me. Again, this is Minister Ernest James. I am your friend to fatherless daughters. I am a fatherless daughter advocate, amongst other things. And I was just saying that I'm grateful. I thank God for blessing me to see another year. And not only blessing me to see another year, but also blessing you guys to see another year. Because if you're watching me right now, that means you made it also, right? So I thank God for those blessings. I thank God for the focus that He has and the things that He has for us planned for this year. So my first video that I did the other day, I think I did it on New Year's Day, was talking about how excited I was for being able to come into this new year and the focus that I have. Just excited for what this new year is to bring. So one of the first things that I figured out and that I'm focusing on is my new vision. While my vision itself or my purpose have not changed, I'm more focused. And so my focus is to help daughters and others deal, heal, and fulfill. Right? So it's deal with the problem, heal from the pain, and fulfill your purpose. Right? So this is the shirt that I have on. Deal, heal, and fulfill. Deal with the problem, heal from the pain, and fulfill your purpose. And that's what I want for everyone. So that's my mission from here on out. And so I'll be wearing this shirt and hopefully fulfilling it, doing a good job at, fulfilling the vision for you guys to give you guys the help, the encouragement also that you need just to be able to get through whatever it is that you're going through, right? So today, we're going to talk about fillers and friends, right? So as a fatherless daughter, daughters look for fillers and friends to fill that void that is left by their biological father when he's not there. So if there's no father or a father figure, and sometimes even when there is a father figure, because the father figure does not fulfill the entire space that should be held by the biological father, then there's voids, right? So if the father is not there at all, or if there's no father figure there at all, there are voids in a daughter's life that she has, and because she has those voids, she looks for someone to fill them. And generally it's in a male capacity. So when she finds them, they usually come in two forms. Either it comes as a friend or it comes as a filler. And there's a difference between the two. So over the next couple weeks, not next week, next week I'm gonna do something different, but over the next couple weeks, we're going to talk about exactly what fillers are and what makes them fillers, what friends are and what makes them friends, right? So what the definition of those two words. But today, I'm just going to talk about the difference between the two, right? So a filler is a person that a daughter is drawn to fill the void or fill a void or a need that she has in the absence of her biological father, right? And so friends can kind of fall into that same category. The difference between a filler and a friend are several key notes, right? So the first difference I want to speak upon is that fillers will be there for you as long as they are benefiting from the relationship in some kind of way, right? As where friends are there for you because they simply care about you and they have your best interest at heart. So a filler is a person, once you meet this guy, because it's generally it's a guy, once you meet this guy and he comes into your life, he'll do things for you, but he always have to benefit from the relationship in some kind of way, even if it's a prolonged benefit, right? So if he's nice today, he'll be nice. He may be nice for months, or be there for you for months or whatever. But it's with a motive, and his motive is, at some point, I'm going to benefit from this relationship, right? And whereas a true friend will be there for you whether they benefit or not. Because it's not about the motive of what they can receive from you, but it's because they care about you and they have your best interest at heart, that they're going to be trying to pour into you or give to you or be there for you just because they love you, right? Just because they care about you. With nothing connected to that. Right? So you don't have to do any favors, you don't have to bend over backwards, you don't have to try to go out your way to prove to them that you're worthy of their friendship, or you're worthy of whatever the need is that they came into your life to meet, that you're worthy of meeting that need for you. You don't have to do that, right? Because they already care about you. They already love you. So they're going to do it anyway, whether they get something out of it or not, because truly, the only thing that they want out of it is your friendship. The only thing they want from you is that relationship with you, right? Just to be your friend. But a filler, on the other hand, will always look for a way to benefit from the relationship. So not all fillers are bad, because let's say as a daughter and as a female, if you have a car problem, generally that will fall on your father, right? You will go to your father, Dad, something wrong with my car, could you come look at it? But if you are a fatherless daughter, that means your dad's not there. So you may look for someone to fill that void of just being a mechanic, right? So that's where a filler may come in. So he came in to fill that void of fixing your car, right? So if he's just for that reason, then it may be business for him. So he's going to fix your car, but as a benefit, you're going to pay him. So he does something for you, and he receives a benefit from the relationship. So in that sense, that's not bad. He's a filler, but it's his business to fix cars. You need your car fixed, you pay him. He's a filler, fills the car, he fixes the car, you pay him. It's an even exchange. With fillers as a negative is when whatever they're giving you, whatever you have to give them back in return, is not necessarily in your best interest, right? Because a filler, because he's not really a friend, he's not going to have your best interest at heart. He's going to have his best interest at heart. And whatever that looks like, right? So if you need some money and you reach out to a filler who you may have thought was a friend and ask him, hey, let me borrow a couple dollars or whatever, and he gives it to you, depending on what you have to do in return for that money, or even when you go to pay that money back, that's what makes the difference between a friend and a filler. Because that filler is always going to try to benefit more than what he put into the relationship, right? So that's the difference, one difference between fillers and friends. A filler will always try to benefit from the relationship outside of your friendship, and a friend will not try to benefit outside of your friendship, because your friendship is pretty much really all they really want, right? So that's the first difference. The second difference between fillers and friends are fillers come into your life for a specific reason, and a friend doesn't need a reason to be there, right? A friend doesn't need a reason to come into your life. Once you meet a friend, they're there just to be your friend. They're there for that specific reason, to show you love and to support you because they're your friends. But a filler comes into your life for a specific reason, and also for a specific season. And it's important that you recognize that, because when we talk about, when we get to the point where we really start diving into your relationships, you'll see how a filler and a friend both can affect your relationship, but because a filler by nature is not 100% there for you, they're there for them and what they can get from you, they have a negative effect on your relationship with your husband or your spouse, right? But we're not that far yet. But a filler comes into your life for a specific reason. So what is that reason? The reason could be anything, right? It just may be whatever you need at that time, and they just happen to be there to fill it, right? But the problem is with sometimes a lot of daughters that I find is they hold on longer than the season should be to a filler, and they hold on longer than the reason should be. So if a filler comes in for, I really can't think of a reason off the top of my head right now, but for whatever reason, once he has fulfilled that reason, then it's time for him to move on, right? But if that reason is kind of continually, then you have to look at it as he's there for a season. So the reason will never outweigh the season. So whatever the reason is, as long as that reason lasts, it's going to be for a purpose. Once that purpose is met, then we go into the season. So when you go into the next season of your life, you have to realize that that filler is not supposed to go to the next season with you. So it's like a pair of winter boots, since we're in winter time right here in Chicago. A filler may be a pair of winter boots, right? To keep your feet warm, keep your feet from getting wet, you know what I'm saying? Keep you from falling, in the snow. So you put on these boots, and they serve a purpose to protect your feet and to keep you from falling, right? But then that season also plays a part too, because the season is during the winter. So when the springtime comes and it gets warm and the snow melts, it's time to take them boots off, right? And so oftentimes daughters, because they get attached to fillers and don't recognize that that person is a filler and not a friend, they hold on to them longer than they should. So now you're wearing winter boots in the springtime, right? You're wearing winter boots in the middle of summer. It's warm, everybody else got on flip-flops, you still got on winter boots. Because you're holding on to that thing past its season. You're holding on to that thing or that person past the reason why they came into your life, right? So a filler would always come in for a season and for a reason. But a friend doesn't need a reason to be there. A friend doesn't need a reason. Because once you meet a friend, a true friend, and you develop that relationship with that friend, then that friend will be there for the sake of the relationship, for the sake of giving as much as receiving. The benefits of the relationship and nothing outside of that. Just the benefits of being your friend and the benefits of supporting you as a person, the filler will be there for you. Because that's what's most important. Not the filler, I'm sorry. The friend will be there for you because that's what's most important to them. Not how they can benefit from the situation. Right? So that's a friend. A true friend will always be there for you, no matter what. And it doesn't have to be a specific reason. You don't have to have a reason for them to be in your life. Because once you meet and there's a connection, a friendship made, they have your back. Regardless, you need something, call me. You want something, call me. You need help with something, call me. Whatever it is, I'm there for you because I'm your friend. Not because I want anything in return. Not because, like a filler would be like, well, if I do that, what you gonna do for me? And sometimes they might not come right out and say it, but it's the motive and it's the mindset behind it. Because if you are a filler, or if a person is a filler, there is going to come a time when they want to be recompensated for whatever it is that they did for you. And generally, it's going to cost you more than it cost them for whatever it is that they gave to you. Whatever investment that they made in you it's going to cost you more when you pay it back, whether it's a physical cost more, or it's going to cost you in the fact that it's not going to have your best interest, right? So, for instance, and this doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does happen, right? So if a fatherless daughter has a void of affection, a lot of time a filler can pick up on that, right? So he'll come into the situation and try to fill that void, but it's always at his to his best interest, not to your best interest. So he may come in and say, "Yeah, I'm a friend, and I'm going to fill that void," but he don't really want to be your boyfriend, right? So that's when you get them guys that's, I'll be there for you, but I already have a girlfriend, but we can do other stuff, right? Or I have a girlfriend, but she don't have to know about you because, what's between us is between us. So I can be there for you, and I can invest in you, and I can, do whatever it is romantically for you with the notice or with the knowledge that I do have a full-time girlfriend, right? So it's in his best interest that if he feels that void of affection for you, number one, he's not going to feel it 100%, right? Because that's why he's a filler, because he's only coming to feel just enough to satisfy you. And so he's not going to feel it 100%, and then it's going to be to your detriment. It's not going to be to your best interest. So if you're dealing with a guy who has a girlfriend already, then that lets you know automatically that he can't give himself 100% to you. And so if you get involved with him, then you're going to get emotionally attached to this guy, and that's not going to be in your best interest. So therefore, that's what makes him a filler. He comes in to fill your emotional needs, but he's not going to fill it 100%. And then because he's not going to fill it 100%, and he's there for his benefit, not for yours, then it's going to be at a disadvantage for you, because it's going to put you in an emotional space, a bad emotional space that you don't need to be in, right? And put you in the midst of situations that you don't need to be in, right? Let's say the girlfriend find out, and now there's altercations between you two because you're messing with her man, so that's going to put you in the midst of a situation that you don't need to be in, right? But he doesn't care. He don't care. He's a filler. He just came to fill a void just enough that he can benefit from it. And otherwise, but a friend will be there for you to fill the void to the best of their ability and don't want nothing in return. That's what a friend is. But a filler will always look for how this situation will benefit him. Whatever it is, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, it could be something as simple as, getting something to eat. You got to cook for me, right? You need a favor, you need to go to the store, yeah, I'll take you to the store, but then you got to make dinner for me. It will always be something in some way that they have to benefit from the transaction that you make with them. Because he's a filler. He's not there to be your friend. And it's important that you realize that he's not there to be your friend. Right? He's there to fill that void. But he's never going to fill it 100% because that takes too much commitment. A filler can make commitments to you because he's not there for commitment. He's there for the benefit of whatever he can get out the situation. Right? So, because of that, a filler will come into your life for a reason and for a season, right? But again, a friend will be there when there is no reason, right? A friend will be there for in the season, right? And some of you have friends like that, whether it's a male friend or a female friend. If it's a true friend, you have those friends that you don't see for years. right? That you don't talk to that much. You might talk to once a month, right? You might see them once a year. But when y'all reconnect, it's still that love and affection is there, that you're happy to see each other, right? Because you are there for each other, not for what you can get. They're not trying to benefit from you. They're not trying to take anything from you. Nothing except your friendship. Because that's a true friend. So the seasons don't matter when you're dealing with a friend. When you're dealing with a true friend, there is no reason outside of your friendship, and there is no season, which means they'll be your friend for as long as you guys remain friends. It's an endless season. Friendship doesn't end, because a friend will always have your best interest at heart. A filler won't. A filler will come in for a reason and for a season, and they will always have to benefit from being there, right? And always have to be something in it for them. And so the next thing I want to talk about, the difference between fillers and friends, is the fact that fillers are not your friends, but your friends can be fillers. So what does that mean? Well, when we talk about the difference of what a filler is simply a person that comes into your life to fill a void. They never fill it 100% because they're not there for that. They'll never give 100% because they're not there for that. To give 100% and to be there 100% takes commitment. A filler is not there for commitment. He's there for whatever he can get, whatever he can benefit from the situation. Whatever he can benefit. So however he can be there for you, however he can fill a void, right? He's there to do that as long as he can benefit from it. What kind of friend is that? Right? That's not a friend at all. A true friend will be there for you no matter what, and it doesn't cost you anything. And the reason why a friend can be a filler, because a friend will fill a void. That same void that you may be attached to that filler to fill, a friend can fill that same void. And a friend will fill that same void. But it won't cost you. And they won't have to benefit from it. Right? So if you have a filler and you need, let's say you just needed to, go to the store. Your car was down, you need to go to the store. A filler will be like, yeah, I'll take you to the store, but you got to pay me. Yeah, I'll take you to the store, but you got to buy me something. Yeah, I'll take you to the store, but what's in it for me? A filler will always have to benefit in some way, even if it's a prolonged benefit. So sometimes they may be nice for a longer period of time, right? They may be there for you for quite a period of time where it seems like, oh, they're a friend. But they're not a friend because their motive will always show. It will always end, at the end of whatever they do for you, something has to be reciprocated. Whether it's money, whether it's time, like I said, it can be something as simple as, fix me a plate, cook for me, whatever it is. A filler will always try to benefit from the relationship, other than or more than what they put in, right? They always going to try to benefit more than what they put in. Whatever it is that they benefit generally will not be in your best interest, right? And they will never fill the void 100%. Because in order to fill the void in your life 100%, that takes commitment. And that's not what they're here for. A friend is there for commitment. A friend is there because they care about you. A friend is there because they love you. A friend is there because whatever they have to do to make things easy for you, to support you, to be there for you, they will do it, not so that they can benefit, from anything more than your friendship. Because a true friend cares about you and not what you can provide for them or not what you can do for them. They care about you as a person, right? So that's the difference between a filler and a friend. So my last one, the last thing I want to talk about, the difference between fillers and friends are fillers will be a threat to your relationship because fillers don't respect boundaries. I'll say that again. Fillers will be a threat to your relationship because fillers don't respect boundaries. Friends won't be a threat to your relationship because they know where they stand with you and they respect it. So one thing that sometimes is common with fatherless daughters is being able to put up boundaries, right? To be able to put up boundaries to not only to protect yourself, but to protect others also, right? Because you have to protect yourself from being hurt, but in protecting yourself from being hurt, it also protects you from hurting other people. So you have to set up boundaries for that reason. But the thing with fillers is fillers don't respect boundaries, right? Because they feel like the boundaries don't apply to them. Why? Because they're not committed to the relationship. In order for me to respect your boundaries, that means I really have to care about you and not care about what I can get from you. So a filler would always, remember, a filler always have to benefit from the relationship. A filler always have to benefit from the relationship more than just your friendship. They're going to benefit in some other way, and whatever that way is not going to be in your best interest. So in order for them to benefit to what's best in their interest, sometimes they have to ignore your boundaries, right? If you say don't show up at my house between this time and that time for whatever reason, that's your boundaries, that's your respect, they'll pop up anyway. Oh, I was just in the neighborhood and I thought, you might need something. No, I didn't call you. Matter of fact, not only did I not call you, I told you not to come over my house without calling first or without talking to me first. That's my boundary. But a filler won't respect that. And so when we get later on, when we really get into fatherless daughters and their relationships with their boyfriend or husband or spouse, we'll talk about how that affects how the fact that fillers don't respect boundaries, that will have an effect on your relationship. So let me give you, actually I can give you the same example that I just gave you. So if you are a fatherless daughter and you're already in a relationship and you have a filler, he's not a friend, but he's a filler, and you call him every now and then to do whatever that you call him to do, cut your grass, but you have to pay him because he has to benefit from it. But if you're in a relationship and you tell him, okay, do not come to my house Monday through Friday during the week. You cut grass on the weekend, so I don't expect to see you until the weekend, right? But if he's a filler, he's not going to respect that. And so he'll pop up at your house in the middle of the week. And if you are in a relationship, you automatically see how that can be a problem. When your boyfriend or your spouse or whoever sees another man just pop up, and he's like, who is this dude? And even if he knows who he is, why are you here without being asked to be here? Why are you just popping up? Right? So in that way, he just became a problem in your relationship. Fillers will always be a problem or a threat to your relationship because they don't respect boundaries. A friend, however, will not be a threat to your relationship because he knows where he stands with you and he respects it. And if he's there to be your friend and that's his only purpose, then he already has your best interest at heart. So he wouldn't do something that would put you in a bad space. He wouldn't do something that would cause you trouble. And one way to know if a friend is really a friend is the fact that he can be friends with whoever you're in a relationship with, and that person will trust him. Right? Because guys can pick up on when guys is up for no good. A guy can pick up when another guy that came into the picture and he ain't up to no good. He can talk that friend stuff as much as he wants. He can put on a good act and say, "Nah, we just friends. You know, that's my work friend or whatever." Nah. Your boyfriend or your mate, husband, whatever, he'll be able to pick up on that. But if your friend, your male friend, is really a true friend, then he will be friends with your husband, right? Because they'll get along, because once they meet and your husband gets to feel him out, he will know that he's not a threat. And because it's genuine and your friend really does have your best interest at heart, he's not going to come off as a threat. And plus, he's not going to put himself or you in a position that will make your mate feel like he's a threat, because that will be harmful to you. And a true friend is not there to harm you. He's there to help you. He's there to support you. He's there to benefit you, and the only thing he asks in return is for your friendship. Nothing more, nothing less. That's a true friend. So tonight we were just talking about the difference between fillers and friends. And later on, we're going to get into really the definition of fillers, right? And what they do and what they are, and the definition of friends and what they do and what they are, right? We're going to do that on two separate lives, right? But tonight, I just want to talk about the fact that they both exist and they both are necessary in a fatherless daughter's life because they serve a purpose. And the fact that a daughter will look for them to fill those voids that's been left by her absent father, right? So I just wanted to touch on that tonight, just to tell you, just to give you a brief description of the difference between fillers and friends. And like I said, we're going to get more into it, more in depth into each one on another later date, right? But I just wanted to touch on it tonight because we're getting close. Again, when I started this platform, I originally started it to help fatherless daughters deal with their relationship issues, right? Their daddy issues and how those daddy issues affect their relationships, their romantic relationships with their husband or their spouse or boyfriend, whatever the name that you want to put to it. But when I started it, I realized that I couldn't talk about that without talking about starting from the very beginning and talking about the relationship with the father and the daughter, how it builds up to the relationship, the romantic relationship. So we're getting closer to talking about the romantic relationships but we're not quite there yet. So I think there's a little more teaching we got to get into. There's a little more talks we have to have to get into. And also this year, we're going to get into. I'm going to get into not just talking about the issues, but ways to help you deal with the effects of being fatherless, right? So next week, coming up next week, definitely this year, we're going to have more shared platforms. We'll have more guest speakers. And so I have a guest speaker coming up, and we're going to talk about affirmations and how we can use affirmations to battle against anxiety, right? So we're going to be talking about that, and also we're going to be talking about, like I said, other issues that comes as an effect of being fatherless, and talking about and giving you tools that you can use to help combat those emotional issues or emotional problems or whatever the different effects of being fatherless that it has on you, right? Whether it be abandonment, self-worth, self-esteem, anxiety. There's a whole host of things that I'm sure you know that you can deal with that come into play as being a fatherless daughter. So we're going to talk about those things at a later date. But again, I am Minister Ernest James. I am your friend to fatherless daughters, and I am here to help you heal, deal, and fulfill, right? Or should I say deal, heal, and fulfill. Deal with the problem, heal from the pain, and fulfill your purpose.